Now at 11, getting back to business. A popular Oregon drive-in reopens with cars lined up for miles. How Sugar Pine is adapting to protect customers and employees. Plus, coronavirus and the White House. Vice President Mike Pence is taking precautions after possible exposure to the virus. But first, what you need to know in the week ahead as Oregon works to reopen public life. We're going to break down the governor's three-phase plan.
This is KGW News at 11.
Good evening, and thanks so much for staying up with us. I'm Brittany Folkers. Governor Kate Brown unveiled a new plan to restart public life in Oregon last week. But what businesses and where and under which conditions can they actually open? Christelle Kumwe breaks down what to expect this coming week.
Last week, Governor Kate Brown announced new guidance and a three-phase plan for reopening counties and businesses. When a county has entered Phase 1, restrictions will be eased for restaurants, salons, gyms, and local gatherings, with requirements including physical distancing. Some rural Oregon counties with low numbers of cases have already applied to enter Phase 1 and could be granted permission to start as early as this coming Friday. The governor also provided guidelines for reopening childcare facilities on May 15th, with some limitations and specific guidelines. The state said childcare facilities should get more details this week about rules of reopening. Parents we spoke with on Thursday are anxious to hear more about the state's plan.
We're not going to be satisfied with any childcare.
Stephanie Michael is a mother of 3. In March, they had to stop going to their daycare because of strict rules limiting the number of kids allowed at childcare facilities. But she's glad childcare facilities are part of the reopening conversation.
It makes me happy because anything talked about that isn't childcare isn't the first step. I mean, childcare has to be the first step.
Counties and regions will have to meet 7 prerequisites, including declining COVID-19 prevalence, before entering Phase 1 of the reopening plan. After 21 days of compliance in Phase 1, counties may be allowed to move into Phase 2. However, the specifics of Phase 2 have not been finalized and will be guided by data collected in Phase 1. The final phase, Phase 3, focuses on large gatherings. Those will not begin until reliable treatment or prevention of COVID-19 is widely available. The state announced that all concerts, conventions, festivals, live audience sports, and other large gatherings should be canceled through at least September. Some statewide restrictions have already been lifted. On May 1st, non-emergency medical procedures were once again allowed. On May 5th, some state parks and day-use areas were reopened. Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.
Thank you, Christelle. And there's some positive news today in Oregon's fight against COVID-19. The Oregon Health Authority reported no new deaths from the virus today. This is the third day in the past week that health officials reported no new deaths. The state's death toll from the virus remains at 127. There are now 3,171 known positive cases in Oregon. At least 17 of those cases are from people at the Portland Veterans Affairs Medical Center. The cases involve 3 patients, 13 staff members, and 1 medical trainee, and that originated at one of the center's medical surgical inpatient units. As a precaution, the medical center isn't accepting ambulances to its emergency department or accepting inpatient transfers from other facilities. And here's a look now at Washington case numbers. Health officials are reporting 931 total deaths, and there are more than 16,800 positive cases. Several Catholic churches in the area held Mass in person for the first time in nearly 2 months today. The Archdiocese of Portland gave parishes a choice this week, telling them that if they felt ready, they could open for Mass again this weekend. But as Morgan Romero tells us, it comes with some restrictions.
Off Southeast Woodstock in Portland, the church finally gathered again.
It's great to see each other again after some time.
It was really hard. The sacrament is very important to us. You know, the Mass and receiving the Holy Communion is the center of our faith.
Our Lady of Sorrows pastor felt ready to welcome parishioners this weekend. Archbishop Alexander Sample said in a video message,
I come to bring you great news today.
Catholics can take Holy Communion, but Mass will look very different. It's limited to just 25 people at one time. Under Governor Brown's orders, people will have to sign up ahead of time to help with contact tracing. Churches put safety measures in place, like social distancing, and buildings will be disinfected.
There's nothing we can do to completely eliminate all risk, but we're doing everything we can to open up our churches again responsibly, carefully, and with great thought.
Following OHA's guidance, he urged seniors and people with compromised immune systems or underlying health conditions to stay home. He also said not every pastor feels ready to reopen. Some need more time.
I ask my brothers and sisters that you have great understanding and patience at this time as we begin to transition back to some level of normalcy in the life of our church.
And let's continue to pray that we will gather together again soon.
Father Mark at Holy Cross told his parish they can't safely reopen yet.
Our situation here at Holy Cross means that with my chemotherapy and radiation starting very soon, and also a surgery date on the other end of that, we are not planning to reopen, even in a limited way, for Mass.
Like so many other churches, they'll still stream services.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
But for those that feel safe to go to Mass, they embrace the step toward normal. Or our new normal, in our new COVID-19 world.
It was a great joy that we finally, gradually, even though it's limited, reopening feels great. And we thank Jesus for that.
Morgan Romero, KGW News.
Thank you, Morgan. Now, Governor Brown's office did send us a statement about the shift to in-person masses. They say in part, quote, "We recognize that physical distancing requirements present challenges for Oregon's faith-based organizations, which play an important role in so many people's lives, especially in times of crisis. But faith leaders can tend to the spiritual needs of their congregations without putting the health and safety of their entire communities at risk." As part of Washington's approach to reopen the state, drive-in church services are now allowed, but there are certain guidelines that must be followed. Families have to stay in their cars during the outdoor services. The church can't provide any food or beverages, and any collections must be made in drop boxes. Well, if you're traveling through SeaTac Airport anytime soon, you're going to need to wear a face covering. Last week, the airport announced employees would be required to wear masks. Now, that rule is being expanded to essentially anyone who enters the airport. There are exemptions for some people, including very young children. The rule officially goes into effect May 18th. COVID-19 continues to hit the White House. Vice President Mike Pence is putting a little distance between himself and others after a staffer tested positive for COVID-19. We're told it's just out of an abundance of caution as he continues to test negative for the virus. 3 members of the coronavirus task force are also taking precautions. That includes the director of the CDC, the head of the FDA, and top infectious disease Dr. Anthony Fauci. They'll be self-isolating in some form. And the pandemic continues to take a toll on the U.S. economy. After April's dismal unemployment numbers, White House officials believe the jobless rate will rise to 20% in May. But there are no plans yet for another economic stimulus bill.
If we need to spend more money to protect the American worker and the American public, we'll absolutely do that. But now, having spent $3 trillion, we're going to take a few weeks.
And while stay-at-home orders are eased in many parts of the country, experts warn fewer restrictions will likely lead to more infections. Officials making tough choices between loosening lockdowns and safeguarding public health. Turning now to weather, all the moms out there really lucked out with just another beautiful summer-like day. Here's a view of Portland looking really nice. And Chris McGinnis joins us now. Chris, things are going to change a lot, maybe already in some areas.
Yeah, you know, Brittany, we've actually managed to hear a couple rumbles of thunder across parts of the viewing area west of the Cascades. We, of course, were tracking some thunderstorms earlier this evening along the spine of the Cascades, but over the last couple of hours, we've actually had a couple of showers now pop up west of the Salem area. So Polk County and on up into Yamhill County. You guys have heard a couple of rumbles of thunder within the last 90 minutes, maybe some lightning strikes as well off the North Oregon coast from Tillamook north to Astoria. Most of that fizzling, and I would be surprised if we see anything more than that through the overnight hours. I think that activity is going to fizzle, but temperatures are still pretty mild. In fact, 74, last check at PDX, freezing level way on up there, of course down from our high of 87, our second consecutive 87-degree day. I do not have 87 in the forecast tomorrow. I don't have 77, I barely have 67. We're going to be a lot cooler on Monday with lots of cloud cover, shower chance on and off throughout the day, and maybe even a rumble of thunder. Brittany, it gets cooler from there. We may struggle to get into the lower 60s with widespread showers on Tuesday. More on that part of your forecast and the full work week ahead in just a few minutes.